happen. How are you feeling coming back to the car today?
The mic's down.
I'm feeling great, and real nervous about getting in the car just because I haven't been in a car in a really long time. I've only drove at Richmond last year in 24 months. That was the only time I've been in a race car. So I did come over here a couple months ago and ran about 15 laps when Noah was testing, and that didn't do anything to help my anxiety. So Noah was faster than me, and it just reminded me of how hard it is to drive these cars, how good these guys that drive them are, and how hot and miserable it is inside there. So some of the things that you kind of forget about while you're in the booth and being a broadcaster. So it's a real blessing for me to be able to run at least one race a year and sort of relive my past, and that's kind of why I picked this race at Darlington, because of the throwback weekend, such a great celebration of the history of the sport, and I wanted to be more a part of that. I got to experience it from the broadcast booth last year, and I thought, man, I get to run a race a year. Why don't I just go to Darlington and do something fun with a throwback car and draw some awareness to not only Dad's story, but Ed Negree and Norman Negree, the guys that own that race car that Dad drove in 1975. So, and it's fun to be down in the garage, in and around the other cars, and to understand their stories and what they're all about. And so this should be a fun weekend.
Dale, what's it been like since the crash for you and your family?
Things have been great. We've been just, taking some time to ourselves, and things have been very good. So, my wife loves to be at the races when I'm driving. So her and Isla are going to come and be here, and that'll be great. Isla was at Richmond last year. She'll never remember that. She might not remember this race either, but it's fun to have them around, especially when I'm racing and driving. And I'm excited just to be back at a track. This is familiar to me. The faces, the people around the racetrack, the people in the media. It's great to be doing something normal.
Can you take me through the final minutes of when you're getting off that airplane?
I don't want to do that. It was a very scary experience, and we're just happy to be healthy and have our have a weekend like this to look forward to, and just try to get back to doing my job as a broadcaster and working with NBC and all the things that we're excited about and happy about in our lives. Ready to focus on all those things.
Where are you mentally? Like, are you afraid to go back on a plane? Are you? And how different is it from getting back in a race car when you've been in plenty of crashes in a race car and gotten right back in?
Yeah, I would say that's that's just the process that we'll go through, and I don't know. I really don't have those answers for you right now. I've got a lot of great people around me that are supportive, and I've got a lot of great contacts of people to be able to help me with any hurdles and obstacles, and I don't foresee any problems.
How do you feel about flying again?
I don't have any problem with flying again.
Is it harder because of the emotion of having Isla, that if you weren't parents and she was, that makes it a little more emotional or difficult for you and Amy?
Well, it was a very tough experience to go through, but I try not to really get into that, think about that too much. And things happen for a reason, and you just try to learn from it and move on. And I love my daughter so much and enjoy being around her, and look forward to watching her grow up and experiencing a lot of things with her going forward, and that just made you realize that much more, and so I'm just thankful and ready to live our lives.
Dale, the Earnhardt name is
stepped out.
royalty in this sport. How much does it mean for you, and just to have the fans see you and so glad that you're here? Is that helping with the healing?
I don't understand, some of the things that happen to me in our sport, or the attention, or the interest, or what have you. I try not to really try to make sense of it. But I am surprised, I guess, by the excitement from our supporters about us racing this weekend and being at the track and being in a car, and it builds pressure. I don't want to let anybody down. I don't want to underperform or miss the expectations or miss the mark on where they would like me to run or how they would like me to finish. But so it adds a little bit of pressure. I like to come into these races that I do in this time in my career and just have fun, smell the smells, hear the sounds, just enjoy driving a car, enjoy racing somebody, no matter whether you're racing for first or last. Just enjoy what you miss about it and not get into the competitive side of it. Try not to really pay attention to the stopwatch. It's hard, you get competitive and you want to do well, but try not to make it miserable or put too much pressure on yourself. So that's really the focus for me right now, is just trying to make sure I'm having fun and not making this more difficult than it needs to be.
Did you have a moment where you looked up and maybe said something to your dad and said, "Hey, not ready, Dad"?
No.
Andrew Lloyd decided to hang up the helmet last week.
Yeah.
You can understand what he's been through, having a quality of life.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that?
I thought it was great. Whatever you. I don't know Andrew. I don't know what was going on in his mind and what he plans to do, and only he knows those things. But everybody has a right to do what they want to do to make themselves happy. He's 29 years old. That's pretty good for a football career. You got to think about all the years of high school, two-a-days, practices, college. It's bigger than just his NFL career. He's played football a very long time in his life, and he's at a point now where he wants to go do something different, I suppose. So I applaud it. I think it's awesome. And I expect, that some guys want to play longer, some guys don't. It's just not for everybody to run it all the way to the very end and empty the tank. It's not. Not everybody's built the same way. Not everybody's going to do the same thing. So I think it's awesome that he wants to get away and enjoy other things in his life.
Dale, do you feel like you're here for a reason? Do you feel like you're here for a reason to do good, or to touch people or something? Now it seems like you're around.
I just want to enjoy what I'm doing. Enjoy my time here at the racetrack driving, and enjoy what's going on in my future. Get back to work and get back to broadcasting and having fun with Tart and Jeff and Rick, and we just got such a great thing going, and it's such a special time in my life, and with Isla growing up and my wife, and just being around my family. So I'm just trying to enjoy all those things.
The other door that you kicked the door down. Is that not?
Yeah. I don't want to get into all of that, and there's an investigation going on, and I just want to wait on that all to play itself out.
Dale, what's this experience kind of made you think about? Obviously, things like that could give people pause. How has this impacted you?
A lot of things in your life that you go through help you sort of order your priorities. Reminds you sometimes, I guess, of what's important, what's not so important. And unfortunately, you don't want to go through situations like that, but there's certainly some positives that come out of it.
Such as?
Just, organizing your priorities and such, and just, remembering what matters, and like your family and friends and things like that.
Are you really that mentally tough? Because it's admirable to the rest of us who saw,
Well, I think that it's just being in a race car. We go out there on the racetrack and crash into the wall and flip upside down, and the first thing you think of is, how good is the backup car, and why did that happen? How can we stop the next car from doing that? We don't, I think the repetition of doing that all my life has insulated me from some of the typical emotions and reactions that you might have in a situation like that.
It's different with your family in the plane, right? I mean, it's different. It's not just you in the plane, it's your family.
Yeah.
Isn't it, right?
Andy, you look for more opportunities to race.
Yeah.
This weekend.
Yeah. Sports deal has an option for next year. If they pick that option up, I want to go to Homestead. I think they race at Homestead in March. That'd be awesome to go race there.
How's Amy doing with all this?
Amy's doing great. Amy and I are doing awesome. We're very, very blessed.
Yeah.
What's your regular routine like these days since you got out of the car? I mean, what do you do for fun?
You know, hunting season's coming up, so I'm practicing my bow in the yard, talking to my hunting buddies about what we're going to do and not do and how much fun we're going to have. I bought a new simulator for the house, sim rig for racing on iRacing, so I'm excited to sort of get that and get into that. But really, man, it's getting up in the morning and going over to Isla's crib and getting her out of bed. Me and Amy wake up and lay there waiting on Isla to wake up, and as soon as I hear her making noises, I'm running in there to get her out of bed, and she's so excited to see you and excited for what's getting ready to happen in the day and getting her bottle and going through the rest of the day. It's hard to leave her. It's hard to leave her and go do a hobby. You know what I mean? It's hard to prioritize anything over your daughter during just a typical day. So a lot of the times I'm just sitting there with her talking about balls and slides and our pets and whatever else she's seeing around her that she wants to play with and do. So that's, you know, me and Amy just spend a lot of time sort of trying to help her get educated about what's going on around her.
Did the fans help you through it? Did your fans help you through the hard part of the beginning? Heard from a lot of people.
I just got a lot of great family around me and friends, other drivers and people, just friends and family. Everybody's been very helpful.
What about a backup driver? You plan to run this whole race?
Yeah, I'm fine. I wasn't sure, you know, so but my back healed really quickly and got some great treatment and help from some doctors there to get that. Everything. I drove a two-seater yesterday for an hour and a half. Didn't have one issue with any soreness back there, and that seat's not even my seat. So this seat should be formed to me and very comfortable, and should be no problem.
Dale, you used the word blessed, Dale. You used the word blessed a number of times here in this conversation. Is that your general feeling after all this, is that you feel blessed?
Oh yeah, just very lucky, very thankful that we're able to carry on and just plan the rest of our lives and just feel very lucky, of course. I mean, without a doubt. That's hard to it's hard to overstate that, right?
Yeah, how about your team at NBC? How have they helped you?
My team at NBC was very helpful. They allowed me to stay out of work in Bristol and be with my family, which was helpful. And they've always been first class, and in anything we've ever done, they've just always been amazing and very understanding people. So they're very supportive.
Gail, can you tell us some of the pros and cons you weighed for doing this weekend or not doing this weekend?
I just felt like getting back to the track, meeting everything head on is the best approach. Just get right back to what you need to be doing, what you want to do. Get this back to living and doing your life the way you want to do it. There's no reason not to.
Did you foresee Carson ever taking the stock car route?
I don't know what's going to happen with hers. You know, she's sitting in there in those running those dirt cars, having a lot of fun, and maybe that's where she stays. That's really up to her.
Do you have to get back on the horse? Did somebody tell you, hey, get back on an airplane, jump right back in there, you can do it?
Without a doubt, that's the best advice, I think, for me. Not for everybody, everybody's different, but for me, I think it's just to get right back to it.
Yeah. Did you ever consider not running this weekend?
Well, if my back hurt so bad I couldn't, I probably wouldn't be able to, but as long as my back swelling and all that went down, it was going to be fine.
Yeah, what about the concussions you had in the past with the plane crash accident?
There's no issues. Zero.
You've been to a neurologist?
Yeah.
They've checked you out?
Yes. I've been checked out pretty hardcore. Yeah.
So are you in a good place?
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm great.
How can somebody who was in a plane crash and we see that video be great 2 weeks later?
Because I'm here to talk about it. You know, I'm here with all you guys and around a lot of people that I know, and I feel comfortable here. This is, there's nothing better for me than being at a racetrack, and everybody's okay, and we just get to carry on, and there's no point in wasting any time, being upset about it or being sad about it, or we processing it. We're all processing it differently, and I feel better every day, about what I need to be doing tomorrow and the next day. I feel more confident about moving forward in my life and putting that in the distant past.
Dale,
what's it like to see the video?
the cause of the crash, which you're not going to talk about, and I get it. When will you hear about that? And being that it was your plane, you're following that closely, though you're not talking about it.
Yeah, the investigation's sometimes a year or 2 years even, so just going to be patient with that. Just wait on that process.
What is it like to see the video?
I don't want to get into that. I don't want to talk about that. I don't have any real comment about that.
It's been 12 years, Dale, since you raced the 8 car.
Yeah.
Did you have a moment this week where you're like, wow, it's been that long and I'm finally climbing back
What
in the 8?
surprised me was I hadn't raced here since '99 in the Xfinity car. I know I've run a bunch of Cup races here, but these are so different than the Cup cars. And when Joe Logano ran in Chicago, he said, many times during the week that he just wasn't ever really comfortable until about halfway through the race. It started to click because of the difference in how the Cup cars and Xfinity cars drive. Even this year, it's very extreme between the two. So I think that it's going to be probably halfway through the race before I have any kind of real understanding of what I need to be doing or where I need to be running, so it's going to be an interesting process. Today in these practices, I'm going to flounder. I'm pretty sure it's going to be it's going to be pretty messy. So, hopefully sometime in the race it starts to make sense, and I picked a real hard track to go to. I don't know what the hell I was thinking picking this place. It's a throwback weekend. It's hard. It's hard not to want to be a part of it. And but yeah, this was probably the worst track in terms of difficulty and challenge and heat and being uncomfortable that I could have chose.
Are you nervous about the race? Are you nervous? Yeah.
Of course. I never was not nervous about driving race cars. I've raced all my life, but I was always, every race, you were just equally as nervous as the last. Leading into qualifying or practice, or you can't help but get nervous. It's a very wild experience being inside there.
You're such a historian of the sport. What do you think this weekend means to people who are like you, who are fans first? And what this weekend's evolved into?
Yeah, it's been really fun to watch it grow and people take it more seriously. This was my hope when they started talking about the throwback weekend, was that this would sort of take root and become something of a tradition that we would do every year. And that seems to be what's going on. And the best thing about it is, I think what's really important is that the teams embrace it. And you see over the years with the Wood brothers and Eric Almirola, Kyle Larson, all these different individuals embracing it and really going full on into it, and looking at Alex Bowman's social media this week, and all the hard push for content that people are creating and delivering on this particular weekend. It's a lot of fun. Twitter, just as an example, just goes crazy with photos and images and stories, and from all types of people, fans, drivers, people in the industry, people not in the industry. Everybody seems to really ramp up that sort of bit of nostalgia, and it's a great experience for me every single day. To sort of
more guys
learn, and I've learned a lot of things that I didn't know about, and hear a lot of stories that are new stories to me, and so it's been good.
Dale, some of the legends of the sport, including your fellow racers that are still racing, talk about some of them that reached out to you, the legends for you. How's it been talking to them?
Everybody, it's been great to know people care, and know that you got a lot of people that worry about you and care about you, and it's just a good feeling. That's all I can really say about that, I guess. But the NASCAR community is a big family, and the drivers go out there and beat on each other and get mad and cuss at each other, but when it all comes down to it, when everybody's working on their charitable initiatives. Everybody shows up, everybody pitches in. We all come together when the time is necessary, and when somebody goes through something traumatic or there's a loss or whatever, we all have each other's back. And so I got a lot of great support from drivers and industry folks, and it's been good.
We're glad you're okay.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, thanks.
All right.
Thank you, Dale.
Thank you.
Glad you're okay.